I mean, at the time of filming this, unfortunately, one of them have been knocked out, but I'm still in there, so we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Hi, and welcome to Not That Deep, where we're not that deep, but we also realize it's not that deep. So the plan was actually to create some mini knitted flags as part of my way of enjoying the World Cup this year. And I ended up with something a little bit different, but I'm not mad at it. I have made these mini cushions in support of the teams that I was rooting for in the World Cup. The size difference is completely because of the machine I used. So I finally played around with my Bond machine, which obviously takes thicker yarns than my Brother KH881, which I believe is a standard gauge. So this is using smaller yarns and this is just a little bit chunkier. What are they doing out there? I ended up learning something about the Brother machine that, I mean, I've been playing with that machine for a little while now, and I just really want to share what I've learned. If you've probably had this machine and, thought about it for more than 5 minutes, you probably already know this, but it was very interesting to me and I thought I should share. FYI, the star isn't actually knitted straight on. I used wire in the middle and then sort of just wrapped the wire in a black shiny yarn to get that effect. It is a little bit wonky, I know, but I mean, it's knitted, so yeah, there you go. I think it's quite cute though, isn't it? With this one, the yarn that I have is mainly red, but it is multicolored. So on the back side, you can see sort of the flecks of other colors in there. But again, I think this side worked out better. So now all of this I sort of designed in Excel on my laptop, and originally it was supposed to be like flags that I could use for decorating when they were actually playing each other. So I kind of had hoped to have them done. It didn't happen, so here we are. And when I did this one first in the hope that it was going to be a nice long flag, but the proportions I had when I was finished with it, it just ended up being really, really long. So I folded it in half, hence the cushion idea. So now, I mean, I didn't start off trying to make a cushion, but we have a cushion now. And I still think it's quite cute. The dimensions or the scale that I used was pretty much the same for this one, but because I had already known that it was going to turn out or longer than I wanted, I decided to sort of split this in half as well. So you can see the design is on both sides, but that's because of the design that I did. I will show you that. So you can see here the scale that I used was for each of them to be 55 stitches wide and 33 rows long. The star I wasn't really feeling because, yeah, but this was only for if it was knitted straight into the design, which I didn't end up doing in the end. And you can see at the bottom there, I ended up splitting the England flag into sort of two halves so that when you folded it, it would become the cushion effect. So this hack that I found to make this. Now, I was using, like I say, my Brother KH881, but yeah, I was using that machine, and it's a punch card machine. So it has the ability to take in a punch card based on the design that is on the punch card and ultimately knit that design in multiple colors. Now, I was sort of racking my brains as to how could I get that machine to build out an England flag without me having to sort of punch out a punch card, because the design is pretty simple. I mean, I want this section to be white, this section to be red in the cross. I mean, nothing too difficult. So what I ended up doing was sort of scouring the Reddit forums, and then somebody said something that wasn't necessarily directly what I ended up doing, but it led me to that. So thank you, person. But ultimately, what it is whilst in the KC setting, so actually the punch card setting, I ultimately realized that all the punch card is really doing is selecting needles. I know, shock horror. But if I could just select those needles myself, I could build out whatever pattern I wanted the punch card to do. So this is my attempt at jailbreaking, if you like, the punch card. So there's no punch card here, but I'm on KC knitting with 2 colors. Tension's a little bit off, but so if I now do this, and then I reset, these go back, and these go back. You come forward, and then you guys go back. Okay, that's where I'm at so far. Just a few things. So as you can see here, the yarn that is in section A of the feeder is going to be the needles that are pushed back. So those are the white ones that I'm pushing back. The needles that are further forward, the yarn has to be threaded through section B of the feeder, and you also have to have the MC or multicolor button pressed on the carriage, as well as not have a punch card in the machine, but have the punch card setting selected on the carriage. What that means is that I ultimately had my drawing, if you like, on Excel, and I knew which needles would need to be selected at any one time. What I therefore did was using the KC setting, and it took me quite a few goes to realize what needles affected which yarn I had in the carriage. So using a combination of the multicolor settings, the punch card setting, and the yarns in the right order, so basically the A section and the B section of the yarn selector, where is it? But yeah, that section in the carriage, sorry. I used the tool to ultimately select needles as and when I needed them to be able to make them knit in the right order for me. Ultimately, you could use this in any way you wanted if you didn't have a punch card for a relatively simple design. In theory, I was sort of thinking I could probably do like intarsia, and I was going to do both flags on the bond machine because why not? But I just wanted to sort of challenge myself to see whether I could find a way to make the brother machine do what I wanted. Really happy that I stuck with it and that I learned something in the process. Obviously, if I want to go back and do the England flag on the bond machine that is now very much available to me, I can do that, that's not a problem. But it was just really interesting to see them come together on different machines with the logic that I had applied. So thank you very much for watching. I have a couple of questions for you guys actually. If you were making little flag cushions, what flags would you be making? And are they still in the World Cup? Did they make it to the World Cup at all? And actually, just as I was able to finally rack my brains and find a little knitting shortcut, kind of, have you discovered anything like that? Any other shortcuts by accident that you would like to share? By all means, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Thanks again for watching.